Hello, everybody. Welcome back for day 2 of the challenge. Again, Harlan is here to welcome y'all to this week of writing. Oh, man. Yeah, so I'm on the comments page. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got lots and lots of people still coming in and joining. Would love to have you guys just jump right in and introduce yourselves and share your comments on the daily homework posts, okay? As you make your way in, go ahead and say hello. Even if you're watching the replay, just say hello. And make sure that you click that link in the StreamYard. I think it's streamyard.com/Facebook. You can probably just type that in your URL. StreamYard, you know what? I'm going to edit this if it'll let me. Yeah, give me a minute. I'll hide this. I'm going to edit that. And I think it's streamyard.com/Facebook. Okay, so show. Oh, did it not save it? Oh my goodness. Let me try this again. I didn't hit save. Okay. StreamYard.com/Facebook. Let me hit save. Now I can show it. There you go. There you go. Okay, so as you have that, Nicole, hello. See, when you do this, it shows me right here inside of StreamYard because I'm streaming to multiple places at once. Nicole, I can see you, and it shows your pretty face. And say hi to people. And thank you, Nicole, for sharing that in the comments there. Okay, so yes, as you make your way in, just say hello. Make sure you click that link or go to it, and you can let me see who I'm talking to. Even if you're watching the replay, go ahead and do that. That way you'll be set for the rest of the week. So we've got a lot to talk about today. We're talking about plotting. You guys are all pretty much writing novels. A few of you are writing picture books or children's books, chapter books. If you're writing a middle grade novel, that's still a novel. YA is a novel. Some people are writing memoir or other types of nonfiction, but the majority of everyone here is writing a novel. And so plot is a really big part of writing a novel. And also there is a lag. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, I do encourage you to go back and watch the replay. Leave a comment for a chance to win the prize, which I will choose the prize for yesterday today. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do that, is every day after I'll choose the prize for the previous day. Yeah, so plotting. Yesterday we started off with character. We started off with a character goal, what they want, because that's basically what a story is. A story is talking about a person who wants something, and 9 times out of 10, they get what they wanted by the end of the story. And the reader wants to come along to be a part of the journey because they want to know how it will happen. That's one reason why they read. They read because they have a connection with the character, like you see trailers or, you read the book blurbs and they're like, ooh, that sounds good, because they either connect with what the character's going through or just kind of the generalized plot or something about the character. They're all intertwined. In Friday night's masterclass, I'm going to be going over the 4 main components of novel writing, which plot is one of them. So yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen. And I already have it right here. And it's going to be a telescoped thing for a second until I switch over. And then hopefully you can see. Oh yeah, I won't be able to see your comments unless I open it up on my phone as well. just a second. But yes, welcome to day 2. If you're just now joining us, there's plenty of time to jump in. You can put your day 1 comment, because after today's video, I'm going to lock the commenting feature for the day 1 post. But you can add it in your day 2 homework. Easy peasy. Okay, no worries there. That is all good. So groups right here, and here we are. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I should be able to, oh, let me click this bigger. Now I can see your comments coming through. Hey, Lori, let me mute myself on this. There we go. Again, there's a little bit of a lag, but I can see your comments on my cell phone. All right, I'm just going to scroll through here, and that's going to be my little presentation. Reminder, there's a VIP experience is happening tomorrow night, okay? I'm going to be giving you guys all 5 of the freebies, the giveaways, the prizes are coming with the VIP experience. So if you're interested in that, I will share the link, and I actually, there's that telescoping thing, but let me get the VIP on here. There it is. So you can go to the VIP experience and join that. But the 5 prizes I'm giving away this week, they all come from my course, Plot Like a Novelist, and the prizes are the Brainstorm Like a Boss. That's what we're giving away today for yesterday. The one for today, I'll tell you in just a minute. Actually, I'll just, so we have Brainstorm Like a Boss, and then Think Like a Therapist, okay? So Think Like a Therapist is today, and you got those 2. And I'll tell you a little bit more about Think Like a Therapist in a minute. There's also the Marathon Method plot diagram. There is the plotting cheat sheet, which is one of my favorites. I love them all, of course. But the plotting cheat sheet I do refer to myself like all the time. Also the plot diagram I do. And prize number 5 is Harry Potter book 1 broken down. Not just the 5 main plot points. I believe it's like all of them. Okay. So it's pretty extensive, and you get all 5 of these prizes as part of the VIP experience. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to like go through kind of what they are and explain them so you have a better understanding. If you're like super excited and you want all 5 of these prizes, then make sure you go check out the VIP experience. It's only $47. And if you can't come live, you will get the replay, and the replay will not expire. You'll have access to that replay from forever, basically. And if I'm also going to open it up, so anyone who comes, if they want to kind of workshop at least their first 3 plot points that we've gone through in the challenge, which again, as a reminder, yesterday we started at the ending of your story. And we did that for a reason, because we want your character to have that goal. And we're just working backwards methodically throughout the week. So today is yesterday was plot point number 5. Today is plot point number 4. Day 3 is plot point number 3, and then so on and so forth. Okay. So we will go through that, and you can volunteer if you don't want to, that's fine. But the recording will hopefully have at least 1 or 2 people who have volunteered to want to share that. Anyways, check that out. If that's something you're interested in, I would love to have you join us in the VIP lounge. So again, the Brainstorm Like a Boss, I'm going to choose the winner at the end of this video. And the Think Like a Therapist, this one brings in conflict. It helps you come up with conflict. All right, so let's dive into plot just a little bit. Even if you only have a nugget of an idea for your story, this challenge is going to help you, okay? Plotting your novel might be hard when you don't have a clue who your main character is or what their goal is, okay? Just saying that. You have to at least have a clue of your main character and kind of what they want or what they're going to be going through. But just remember that this is a challenge. It's called a 5-day challenge for a reason. And it's my job to challenge you to think deep and to flesh out your ideas of just a little bit more. And here's just a tip of encouragement. Keep going. Like, don't give up. Do every day. Even if you join us on Tuesday or Wednesday, totally fine. Just keep going. Go through the 5 plot points, watch the materials, and go through the group and read the stuff. So also something else that might happen. You might identify one of your plot points as one thing, and it actually might fit somewhere else. So they might shift a little bit throughout the week. It is also possible, I have seen this happen, it doesn't happen a lot, but it is also possible that 1 or 2 of your plot points might shift after you've written like half the book. Again, typically you get the 5 nails down and you're off to the races and you're good to go, and it will help you with your writing. There are lots more plot points that go in between. But if you get the 5, as you start writing it, it might shift. So this week, the plot points might shift a little, and I will hopefully be able to help you to figure that out. Some of you have mentioned some of your plot points, and I already can tell. If I said, hey, you've mentioned some that probably going to be later this week, I've mentioned this to 1 or 2 people, then go back to that post, go back to what I said. I didn't identify them for you, but they're there. You kind of know it subconsciously. Let's get through the week and see how it plays out. And so what that looks like for all 5 of your plot points. So today's plot point is the wall. Again, we're working backwards. So you have your character, and I've got 2 of my cheat sheets right here. The Marathon Method plot diagram. So we've got the first plot point. I will just go up like this, okay? So be sure you come in and say hello as you make your way in. And the first plot point is the sign up. We're going to do that one on Friday. The next thing that happens in your story is the gunshot. So think of a race. You know, the gun goes off. Everyone crosses the starting line. We'll do that one Thursday. Tomorrow will be the halfway point. Today is the wall. And then yesterday we did the finish line because your character has to be working towards something. Well, as they're working towards something, they will hit a wall, just like in running a marathon. It's and the description I put here is that the wall is the plot point where something detrimental happens to the main character, causing them to feel alone, defeated, or abandoned. It's their lowest point before they finally push through and cross the finish line. So if you've joined a little bit earlier and you got my email this morning, if not, you will get a recap at the end of the week of all the homework lessons, okay? If you're missing some of the emails, you will get a recap, okay? But this is in this morning's email that went out at 8 a.m. That's Eastern time. So I'm writing this book about a character whose nickname is Gleek, and he has snakes. And Gleek is the word for like snake spit. So you know people who can like roll their tongue or something and spit comes out of their mouth, that's called gleeking. Anyway, he's working on this science project. That's his main goal, is to win the science fair project so that he can go to the science camp of his choice, or the summer camp of his choice. And there's like different types of science camps, right? Well, the wall for Gleek is when his science project is destroyed. Therefore, he feels hopeless. Like, what in the world? How am I even going to like do this? It's due in like a couple hours. What am I going to do? How can I rebuild this? Because even though he's smart with science, you know, there's other conflicts and things going on. So that's that example. And then I'm going to share a few other examples from some other stories that you guys hopefully know of. They're pretty popular. Wonder Woman, the Amazon princess. I'm not going to go through all 5 plot points. I'm just going to focus on the wall, okay? So in Wonder Woman, the person who she kind of fell in love with is Steve Trevor. And he was like the spy person. But he dies. And then Diana feels abandoned and unable to fight the war. And of course, things happen after you hit the wall. But at this point, this plot point, that is the lowest point. She literally is lying on the ground and unable to get up. And hopefully, if my dogs are barking, that it will be short-lived and you can still hear me just fine. Okay, next up is Moana as an example. When Maui gets upset and leaves, okay, she's abandoned. Moana ends up giving up and she tells the ocean, choose someone else. I don't want to do this anymore. And if you ever notice in movies a lot, and literature does this too, but definitely in movies, the lowest point, the wall, is when the main character oftentimes is depicted low. They're lying on the ground, they're on their knees, or some such thing like that. And so Moana is on her knees on the raft. The next example is from the life of Jesus. So he's praying in the Garden of Gethsemane. He feels alone, abandoned, and unsupported by his disciples. So that's his lowest point. That's his wall. And the wall is what happens that causes the character to feel at their lowest. The plot point is not the fact that they feel their lowest. Plot is about things that are happening in your story. So what is that thing in your story that is causing your character to feel at their lowest? They have hit the wall, okay? When I was running my first marathon in Alaska, there was a balloon man and he was the pacekeeper to make sure, like there were lots of pacekeepers, of course, for each, like every pace that people wanted to be like a five mile per hour pace, like so a 10-minute mile pace, the 11-minute mile pace, etc., etc. And the balloon man, though, he was the one who was keeping pace so that if you to make sure that you finished the race before the cutoff time, okay? And so if he passed you, then your time wasn't going to be official. And well, the balloon man passed me at one point. I started crying. I panicked. I almost gave up. But there were people there cheering me on. More about that in a Friday night masterclass. I'll go into that story just a little bit. But that was my wall, okay? That's the literal wall of running a marathon. And maybe, it's not a balloon man for everybody, but, you feel like you can't go on. So you want to ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, there's 3 things I want you to think about when you're thinking about the plot point that I call the wall, okay? Your main character must overcome weaknesses to achieve their goals. So if they're hitting the wall, it's kind of like a weakness almost, and they've got to overcome it somehow. Tip number 2, the main character feels like they can't go on. That's the biggest thing. Or they're actually incapable of taking any actions. Maybe they're captured, they're tied up, okay? I mean, that's the wall, like when they get tied up. And therefore they can't, so maybe when I put the word or in there, they feel like they can go on, but physically they literally can't go on. They can't take any action. So something's got to happen. Someone's got to come in and help them out just a little bit to get them untied or rescue them from prison or whatever it is. Tip number 3, the wall must play directly to the finish line. It must be related to the main character's goals. So in my story, Gleek, as he is wanting to win the science fair, the wall has to play into that science fair somehow. And so his project is destroyed, and therefore, like, it does play into it. It's related, okay? Plot has to be like related cause and effect things. Another way to think about it is it's the final major obstacle that your character has to overcome, okay? The final major obstacle that your main character must overcome before they get to reach their finish line goal, okay? And there may be a few tiny little obstacles continuing, like there's going to be a few, but like it's kind of like one big battle. All right, so I'm going to just share, and it may be too small for you to read or see up here. I'm just going to read these highlighted portions of some other fellow challengers. These are actually from last year. But if I put a love on your, on your comment under any of them, and I did several on day one's post, that means you've really hit it on the nail. Okay. If I put a like, it's pretty good, and I probably asked you some clarifying questions. And so that's fine, but, and it may be clearly stated even if I put a like, but if I put a love, it's like definite, like take a look at these, like take a look. Okay. But these examples, things are broken off between him and Sunita. So that's the first one on the top. So in a romance, oftentimes, and I'm not saying this is a romance, it might be, I don't remember, but oftentimes in a romance, the wall is going to be like the two characters are just kind of, they split apart. It's like, it's not going to work. The second one on the bottom here, the wall is when her mother died of cancer. And so you're going to feel lonely and sad and depressed from that. Here we've got Aunt Betty throws her out. So the main character's aunt throws her out of the house and out of the bakery with nowhere to live, no job. Polly has to figure out things fast. Kind of funny. We have another story going on, completely different. Main character's name is Polly, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, nowhere to live. She's abandoned. She got kicked out. So that's definitely a good wall. Another one, Neil hits the wall when her favorite resident is killed. So this is a story where a tornado comes in and like wrecks the whole nursing home kind of thing. But yeah, so that's her wall, because now she really feels the pain of it all coming in. Here's another example. The time capsule she just discovered is stolen by someone. Yep. So that is a really good one. The main character feels betrayed, like someone stole the time capsule. Like it plays into directly like the finish line, the plot point for that story. Another example, she and her uncle end up getting trapped by the killer in a secret room of the party house. So they're trapped, just like I mentioned. So if they're trapped, you can have some of these plot points. Just because someone's trapped or kidnapped does not mean it's automatically going to be the wall plot point. A lot of stories, someone's kidnapped in the very beginning. There's a different thing that happens later in the story that's worse for someone getting kidnapped. Oftentimes, too, if the kidnapping happens at the beginning, it's not the main character. It's someone who is related to the main character, and then the main character is trying to save them. If it happens near the end and it is the wall, it's going to be the main character who's kidnapped or trapped or tied up or whatever. So that's another good example. Then on the bottom one here, when people in her town accuse her of being a witch. So she feels really, really low when people are like, hey, accusing her of this. And I guess that's like her lowest point. All right, so that is all the examples I have, but let's choose some winners. This is going to be fun. And I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat. I think you guys are like really listening. But let's see. And my dogs, I don't know if you can see now. This is my other dog, Prince. He's wanting to show his face. Yes, you are. Your ball's right there. Okay, so just some things that are included in the Think Like a Therapist one is the prize for Tuesday. I'll be giving it away at tomorrow's live stream. Okay, so make sure you leave a comment on today's live stream if you want to be eligible for the Think Like a Therapist giveaway. So this prize helps you with conflict in your story. It gives you 5 questions your character will ask to doubt themselves. These are things you can incorporate into your writing to show some doubt, which is a very integral part of the entire plot. Not one of the 5 main plot points, but it is a very important part, is the character doubting themselves at a certain point in the story. especially, but also it can be sprinkled all throughout. So those 5 questions are really cool. Another thing it has included is 14 different ways to show self-doubt in your character. So that's cool because sometimes it's hard, like, well, how do I even show that? And it gives you 14 ways you can do that. And then it has 8 questions to ask yourself about your main character. I know, like, sometimes there are character worksheets that exist out there, and there are hundreds of questions. And I personally don't love them because it's like too many questions. Like, that's never going to show up in the story. And that's fine if it helps you get to know your character better. But these 8 questions are pretty specific. They are like really solid jumping off points to help you understand your character better without having to spend hours on a 5-page survey with like hundreds of questions to kind of do it. It's just 8 really relevant questions to help you understand your main character. And this is what Think Like a Therapist is about, knowing your character and kind of helping with conflict a little bit. So that's what's up for grabs today. So make sure you leave a comment on today's live stream. Say, I don't know, just tell me why you want it, or share something, any kind of comment that relates to anything you've heard in today's video. All right, so today's winner, and I know, like, sorry, this says prize Think Like a Therapist here. I'm actually giving away right now the one, let me see. Yeah, so day 3. So that's the last thing. So today's winner, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. We're fine. It's all good. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to switch over to that post. This is yesterday's post. And I'm going to scroll up and down with my eyes closed, okay? And first I'm going to just scroll all the way at the bottom. That's it. And then all the way at the top. And we've got 34 comments here. I don't know if that includes some of my back and forth comments. But I'm going to scroll, and I'm just going to land on whoever I land on is going to be the winner of the Brainstorm Like a Boss, okay? So I'm closing my eyes. You can see me in the little left-hand corner. I think it's over on this side. Maybe it's on this side. I don't know. But I'm closing my eyes. I'm scrolling up and down. I'm going to choose a winner. Okay, I don't know where it landed, but I'm going to try this. And wherever, right here where my finger is, the mouse, it is, wiggle, 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 too far down. Well, since it's kind of highlighting Patricia Embury, that's who we're going to go with because that's right about where it was. So, Patricia, congratulations. You are the winner of the first prize in our 5-day challenge this week. You will get Brainstorm Like a Boss. It's going to help you. I think it has like 5, maybe 6 different ways to brainstorm. So anytime you hit something in your story, you turn to this Brainstorm Like a Boss and pick whichever one feels most relevant in that moment. And it will help you to get out of that stuck part, okay, and to like get moving again on your novel or on your story, okay? So congratulations, everyone. Shout out to I gotta check what time. Oh, okay. Well, that's it. I have another call and I'm 3 minutes late. So congratulations, Patricia, and I will email you that. And I will see everyone else in the challenge. I've started commenting on today's day 2, plot point the wall, and I will get to those after I eat some lunch here in about an hour after my other meeting. All right, thanks everyone. Goodbye.